You're jamming with the hottest disc jockey.
Yo, you already know who it is, your boy DJ Jesus Warhol back here for another episode of the NittyBumVille radio show, special after-hour edition, December the 6th. We are here with Rudy G out of, now I love doing my interviews like this because I love just being transparent, Chicago, Illinois, or are you from just Illinois?
Well, I'm out of the Chicago area. I'm not in Chicago, but I'm outside of Chicago. So I always just say Illinois.
Okay, so for all those who don't know, I love to, anytime Chicago or the area comes in here, I love to shout out Northwestern University. Shout out to Everton, man. You know what I'm saying? I love that place.
Oh, yeah, that's a great school. That's doing good things up there.
Yeah, man. I could only last a semester. Tuition was very expensive, and Chicago is very expensive to live in.
Yeah, that's one of the top schools out there, though. That's good that you even got in there, though. That shows some potential.
Yeah, I was, when they, you know what I mean? I always say, it's not bad dropping out of a master's program at a top 10 university in America. So, you know what I'm saying? You just getting in and doing that is a win itself, you know what I mean? But, you know, unfortunately, you know, you don't want to just, I don't like to just use that as like my claim to fame, like, you know what I mean? It would have been good to be able to actually finish and stuff like that.
Well, you got close, though, so that's good. Good for you.
Yeah, I did. You reached out online to our submissions. I appreciate it so much, man. Reading on your bio and just seeing just a little bit online, it just, to me, it just sounds like, in simple terms, you're just a hip hop head.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I like to keep it traditional, I guess you can say, you know, talking about my real life. I'm not out here talking about crazy stuff, maybe 1% of the time, not going to lie, but 99% of the time, yeah, it's just about reality and stuff that I've been through.
That's good, man. Because like nowadays, me, getting older and stuff like that and growing and just, seeing different vibrations that I've been around, I'm listening to less and less like trap, drill music and stuff like that. I'm getting more back onto the traditional 90s feel, hip hop stuff. So probably 2 or 3 years ago, if I would have been submitted your work, I probably would have not accepted it, if we want to be honest, just because of the, you know, the masses and the popularity of what's going on right now. But seeing that you are different and you are doing a different style, I actually am now in a space where I'm like, I actually love that and I'm accepting that.
I appreciate it. Yeah, you know, we learn as we grow different things, you know. I wouldn't, you know, I'll be honest, not to get into the whole thing right here. I'm a big classic rock fan. I used to not listen to any of that back in the day, but now that I'm starting to get older, I like a lot of them songs. I feel a lot of those lyrics. I like a lot of those bands. So, no, I'm with you. And I mean, even with hip hop, with the styles and all that too, there's a lot of different styles that, you know, I used to not be open to the trap. Now I'll listen to some of it. You know, if it's good, I'll give them their, you know, their props or whatever. But, you know, for the most part, it's, you know, just, we've got so many people now and so many different genres out there putting out music. It's a good time. It's really a good time to be alive.
It really is. So how long have you been making music?
So I've been I'll be honest, I've been on and off for about 10 years. So I haven't been sitting here for 10 years straight putting out song after song or anything like that. It's, you know, 2 years I'll put out something and then, you know, 3 years went by. Well, more recently I've gotten a lot more consistent with it. So, you know, skywriting was the first of my projects that I put out. I plan on putting out more. You know, I've got another project in the work called Airplane Mode, which is basically a follow-up to skywriting. So that's another one, you know, that'll be out there. And it's just really just about, you know, staying consistent now. You know, before, I guess I wasn't as serious about it. And now coming back into it again, seeing, you know, the, I guess, responses that I got to skywriting, it just showed me, you know what, you better still keep continuing to do this. Because
me personally, it's when you turned on your EP, it was a very different. I wasn't expecting those types of like beats, pretty much. You know what I mean, and feeling of the songs, especially with like Last Call. That was probably my favorite on the whole tape. And I don't even drink, you know what I'm saying? But just the whole, like, I literally was like, man, I could play that in one of my DJ sets when I'm DJing. That's like one of those, like, hey, I could literally play that, like, at the last, you know what I mean? For like a last call. Like, that is crazy. And you just never know, like, with nowadays with TikTok and dances, what somebody might hear your song or a lyric and be like, hey, I could use that for content. And the next thing you know, your, song blows up.
Yeah, and it's just, like with that's a great example right there. That song was inspired by a couple of different things that you wouldn't even get the vibe probably if you heard that song. It's just, I guess I'm just so far out there mentally right now that that's inspired by that Semisonic song's Closing Time. That's where I got the idea. Let me do a rap version of that. I mean, it's not exactly the same. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that, but let me do something like that. And then also it was also inspired because I talk about the Midwest in there. It was inspired by Nelly and the Saint Lunatics. Nobody really talks about them anymore because that was a while back, but they inspired me when I was younger. There wasn't many people from the Midwest coming up. Where I'm from, we've got Twista and all. I mean, now you've got a million people, but back in the day, we just had like Twista, Lupe Fiasco, Kanye. They were new. And then, it was everybody else, and there wasn't really too many people. And then there was Nelly, and it's like, all right, well, he's still from the Midwest. They sound a little different than us, but it's still cool because, Missouri's right down the street. So that's what was cool about that. So that track, Last Call, was actually inspired by those two songs, in addition to my own, shit that I've gone through.
That's pretty cool. That's dope. Being from the Midwest, just like you said, because I'm from Texas, and seeing some of the, like, especially the Midwest and the East Coast, where like you could live in Philadelphia and make it to New York in like 2 or 3 hours, New Jersey and stuff like that, compared to Texas, where, man, to go see my mom, I have to drive 6 hours in the same state. And, St. Louis and Chicago and Milwaukee, and that's all right there. And being, like you said, the Midwest and y'all being so close, have you ever traveled to like Milwaukee or Missouri and, done music, recorded, did shows, anything like that?
So I do have family up in the Milwaukee area, and so we up until recently visited them. So when I, initially came out with skywriting, I submitted it to some, internet stations and places out there in Milwaukee, and, a couple of them played it. I've been trying to work on, collaborating with people from out there. But with just going there on the weekends and all that, it was tough. So if you're from Milwaukee and all that, and you're hearing this, hit me up, because I definitely love working with that area. I want to work with that area. But yeah, no, that's I got a lot of respect for that area. I don't want to act like I've been deep into the Milwaukee scene or anything like that. But everyone that I've ever met from out there, I've actually thought they were a lot cooler than some of the people from around here in Chicago, to be perfectly honest with you. So I like them up there. Can't get me wrong. I always love Chi-Town and all the people in the area and all that. But, Milwaukee people are like, it's like as soon as you tell them you're from Chicago, it's like you're automatically a family. Oh, okay. I got you. And it's like, all right.
That's one of those.
So there's like that, respect.
Yeah, that is definitely, and I'm sure it goes back and forth, when Milwaukee, Chicago people find out someone's from Milwaukee, they pretty much give them the same respect too as well.
The only time it don't happen is when the Cubs are playing the Brewers. And then when the people go up to Milwaukee, they'll call it Wrigley North. So it's like, that's old. Like, I don't do that. I'm a White Sox fan. I don't play that. But yeah, no, they get crazy about the Cubs and the Brewers. But we'll just keep that in the stadium. Let's not take it outside.
Okay. I'm sure that Packers Bears is not a very very happy topic between those two people, individuals too, as well. So especially right now with Green Bay, having upper advantage. So.
Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, speaking of football, like, who's your team? I know we're flipping it on you here, but who's your team?
Oh, okay, so man, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, man. I'm in the middle of Central Texas. Central West Texas. So, it was Cowboys here for the longest. The Oilers left, and, '99 or '97, around that time. So Houston didn't really get a team until the expansion in like '01. So Cowboys are just, and it's Dallas, everybody, America's team and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I just fell in on the bandwagon, you know what I'm saying? And I call it one of the best bandwagons to be on, so,
Oh yeah.
not
No,
right now, with us, losing and stuff, but that's the good thing about Dallas Cowboys. People going to show up to watch the Cowboys to either see them win or lose. So, hey, whether or not Dallas Cowboys, we have one of the best marketing in the world, you know what I'm saying? People talk about us 24/7, so it's amazing.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. That's America's team right there. So yeah, anytime they're talking about NFL or ESPN is on, they're talking about the Cowboys, no matter how they're doing.
No matter how good or bad. I love it. I really do. So I seen on your project, get back to your project real quick. I seen that you have 3 producers on there on the Skywriting EP. How did you get in touch with these producers and you were able to work with them?
So DJ Lost was actually somebody that I knew from a long time ago, going back to when I was a kid on AOL. He was a DJ that I knew who started making beats. And he wasn't very good at first, but over time he started getting really good. And so then I started using his production. And so then on there also was Shark City Beats, who's actually retired now, but he's still around. He ain't passed away or nothing like that, but he just doesn't make music anymore, so just shout out to him. He was somebody that I actually just met through, what is it, Beat, the sites, Beat Stars or whatever the people call it. We basically started talking outside of that. Like, he gave me beats outside of that, and we started working together, so that was cool. And then the other producer that was on there was that was just basically another person that I met through Twitter.
Okay. Soul Dad Brother. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, he was another one that had posted a beat on there and was like, anybody who likes this, let me know. And then, I talked to him about it, obviously, discussed what we needed to discuss, and he gave me the beat and we went from there. So shout out to him too, Soul Dad Brother.
So it also sounds to me that being in here for 10 years, you're also so you understand about like the music industry and like splits and royalties and stuff like that in the business side of the art creations of music per se.
Yeah, definitely. Like all the tracks that you hear that I put out, and I recommend anybody to do this, as you put out music publicly. Not saying that you're going to blow up and be the next hottest thing, but you always want to make sure that you copyright your material through the Library of Congress. So all the material that I have put out that everybody hears, it's all copywritten. It's all been heard by them. You can, look it up in the dictionary or whatever their thing is, their database or whatever, and that's what I recommend. So, from there, you don't have to worry about things happening because you hear from time to time. And not to call out, Ice Spice, but there was recently there was some kind of copyright issue with the song that she made and someone else made, and there was like a timing on it. And so it's good to basically, CYA, as they say in the, in the workforce or whatever, make sure that you're covering yourself, because now they've got proof of that over her to say, hey, we did do this before that person, or, somebody steals lyrics from you or something. Who knows? You never know when you're sending out your music or it's being played online. You never know who's hearing it.
You never know. That's a good segue for me to get into this next topic. One of the artists that I've worked with out there in Chicago, his name is ID the G. He runs 23 Entertainment. It's like a little event planning, and they do events and concerts and stuff like that out there in the Chicago, Illinois, Milwaukee area. And he's been, he's gone on tour. He's been overseas, performing and videos, all that good stuff. He's big enough, but he's just not as big as, your Lupes and stuff like that are in Chicago. But honestly, he doesn't have to keep a traditional, 9 to 5, and he can make music off of the art and music and stuff like that. And 2016, we did a song, and it was called Selling Dope, and it got sampled and used by J. Cole for his song Neighbors. And
Oh,
ever
dope.
since, yeah, but ever since then, it is dope, but it's not dope because of the whole copywriting and publishing and, pretty much big bank taking little bank, and just,
Ah,
lawyers and stuff like that. And just, so whenever I hear people when they say like, I just make the music and da 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 da, I'm always like, you can make music for fun and who knows, but you, just like you said, it'd be better just to do the due diligence and get everything copyrighted, get your publishing and get everything situated just in case, because you just never know. Someone could take that and you could prove, just like Blurred Lines did, you know what I mean? With Marvin Gaye and stuff like that. Marvin Gaye proved that Blurred Line sampled his stuff and he got paid and stuff like that. And I know it seems really grimy to want to go after people and take their money, but at the same time, when you have art and you're not as big as certain people, you just always want your stuff to be protected.
exactly. And that's, I've heard of things like that before. I know somebody who basically used to make beats back on, I forgot what it was called, SoundClick or something like that. Not even SoundCloud, SoundClick. He made a
SoundClick.
beat on there.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that is crazy.
Made a beat on there. Somebody bought it. He didn't know who the person was. I don't know if you remember that singer Montel Jordan. That's who
Montel
basically bought his
Jordan.
beat for like
This
$100.
is how we do it.
Yep. Bought the beat for like $100 and was on a soundtrack to some movie with it, and the guy who made it couldn't do anything about it.
Couldn't do anything about it.
Nope. Nope. But I did hear one time there was a guy who did try to, and I'm not going to say his name or anything like that because I don't want to do that to him, but there was a guy that I did know who actually tried to sue Kanye over the Stronger. He said that he had some lyrics and things in the song that he felt that Kanye West stole. It went to court. He did not, unfortunately, win the case.
I had when I first started my radio, I don't know what song it was too. But there was a guy that was on Twitter and he sent me the video. He sent me, and this was probably, I know this was before 2016 because I remember when it happened to me, I said, man, maybe that guy was not lying. Maybe he was telling the truth because he sent me, he was like, I want to come on your radio show. I have proof that Kanye stole, it was For the Life of Pablo. And he had his track on SoundCloud. He had the guys, he had Kanye's song. He had the dates and stuff like that. Because that was when that was like the real first album that really said it where you could drop something and then take it off take it off the streaming. And because Kanye kept doing that for like 2 or 3 times, I remember he took one song down and then he would upload the whole album with one of the songs on another beat and stuff like that. And I remember Life of Pablo was kind of like a puzzle. And, he did the listening parties and stuff like that. And I was just, at some point, I was like, maybe this guy is telling the truth because, it's just so close. And, you know what I mean? The way that Kanye was rapping, just like the guy, and the beat was kind of the same. And it's just, I've always been, pro little guy. You know what I mean? Some people are like, why does this big time artist have to steal from somebody? And it's just like, when you can get away with it, you know what I mean? Why not? You know what I mean? Everything is just like a business, kind of like, Target. If Target can take Walmart's, blueprint and make some more money off of it, why not?
Yeah, and with this industry, I mean, I don't mean to say it this way, but there will be people who will try to take advantage of somebody who's younger or somebody who has a hot record. Like, they'll want to jump on the record and all this kind of stuff instead of just letting the person's record just go out there. They'll like try to do that, manipulating them into that or manipulating them into things. So there's, things that do happen that are, real shady in it. And that's what they always say. They always say, the music business is really shady. And that's why it's always important to make sure that, you've got it protected so then that way that at least happens. It doesn't always mean you're going to win the case as we saw with that one guy, but it does show that, hey, I at least got proof to show that, I did do this first.
Yes. because people don't think that that matters, but unfortunately, it does matter. Especially if you're a little guy, and it just sometimes it's just good to be like, that was me, and for yourself, not only I guess because like I know in the beginning that's what propelled me to slow down in making music. And I know my friend from Chicago, he's also slowed down in making music. But I just wanted to make sure like no one else has to go through what I went through, because people would just say I'm crazy, and people would just like would say I was lying and stuff like that. And then I would play both songs, and about time I'm not even halfway of the J. Cole song, whoever that was skeptical about me is like, dude, you are totally right. Oh my gosh, that is so crazy. Like, I thought you were just joking. And so, just not wanting people to have to take that personal, because some people don't know how to compartmentalize that, and that could really kill somebody's drive to make music.
Yeah, like that right there. Somebody would stop alone just from that. Because it's like, well, I tried and they're stealing my ideas, and this is the one thing about that. I mean, you got to keep it, and I don't mean to say it this way because I love it, but like at the end of the day, samples. We're sampling a lot of other people's music in a lot of cases. So we're out here looking to see what we can take from other people. I'm not trying to act like I'm holier than thou. When I'm collaborating with people on a track, I don't look at it as like I'm gonna kill this dude or I'm gonna kill this chick on this track. I look at it as we're a team. We're the 72-10 Chicago Bulls, and we're going out here and trying to do it, and that's how I look at it. I don't look at it as we're in a UFC fight together. That's not how I look at it. But some people do, and that's fine. But I don't do that. I look at this as a team effort when we do music together.
72-10 Chicago Bulls. That was a good reference. I would have probably preferred the 1999 San Antonio Spurs, or maybe the 2015 San Antonio Spurs, but that's just me personally, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to bring basketball into this, but Hey,
Wemby is gonna bring you out some good stuff out there.
I need it, man, because it's been a long droughted years. Man, I remember I was in Corpus Christi the last time that they won the championship. I was at my grandparents' house, at my grandfather's house. I was in the back yelling and screaming, and my grandfather comes in like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, "Yeah, Grandpa, we just won the championship, man." Like, I was so happy. And, ever since then, it's just been a real rocky downfall. But basketball is good because even though, like, my team has been doing really bad over the last decade, pretty much. There's individuals that I've kept up with and followed, and one of those individuals is Lonzo Ball. I graduated in 2011, so some of the people that I played and were in my class were like Marcus Smart. Was probably the Marcus Smart was probably the biggest individual, and obviously he went to Boston and won a championship, I think maybe 2. Now he's playing with Memphis. So seeing I've been watching Lonzo since he was in high school, and seeing him go and get drafted by Chicago, I kind of started rooting for Chicago a little bit, especially when they had DeMar DeRozan, and they got the guy with the headband, and Jesus Christ, Zach LaVine. And I was like, man, this is going to be a really good little squad. And then nothing panned out. Lonzo got hurt and stuff like that. So I definitely keep up with Chicago more than other cities. New York is one of those cities where, you just keep up with it. You know what I mean? The culture, the sports, you know what I'm saying? And so and then again, Northwestern and me going there and stuff like that. It's a real cool connection of Chicago and stuff like that. And then working at I was a manager at a Dollar General, and so I had to check out so many people, and seeing people say, I'm from Chicago, and now I just moved out here because of the housing voucher. Or I moved out here because my sister told me to move out here. It's pretty crazy to see. It's an international city for real. So
They go everywhere. Everywhere you go, you'll find people from Chicago. They even got those places where they'll try to make the food. They'll say, "Oh, we got pizza puffs and Italian beefs here. Come and try it." And I'm in like
Yeah.
Las Vegas. Like, oh, okay.
That's awesome. That is really cool. You know, it reminds you of home, and you know what I'm saying. And like you said, we're all just trying to do something that we love to do, and you know, just trying to make it in this world. You know what I'm saying? Kind of segue in what I said earlier when I hopped on and stuff like that. So I kind of had to drag myself up to get into this position today and to get to the studio and to record, but I will tell you, thank you so much, man, for this conversation, because it's really helped me out, and I look definitely forward to having more conversations with you in the future.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, man. Anytime, I'm always here for that. I appreciate you, having me on here. It's all love, man.
Well, I'm gonna do a little speed question round real quick, and then I'm gonna come back and we'll wrap this bad boy up.
All right, sounds good.
Favorite song off of the EP Skywriting?
So, you got to always say all of them, but no, really, what I noticed that I really liked the most at first, I was really feeling that intro, because that was, I was talking about it right there. I was saying everything in there. I was like, all right. But really, as time goes on, I really like Gotta Love It. Gotta Love It has been probably my favorite song so far.
Okay. And that was one of the songs we downloaded. We got Skywriting, we got the Gotta Love It, The Last Call, and then we actually got some of your music from your upcoming tape that I want to, let me see, Where You Should Be.
Yeah, yep.
Is that it? Yep, that's it.
That's off the new one. Yep, that's off airplane mode. Where
You Should See. We're trying, man, around here. You know what I'm saying? We're trying. I see the airplane, the skywriting, the sky, anything like that. What is the theme of this, like the planes and the sky and all that?
So with this project, really with the skywriting. So at the time, I was fortunate enough in life to be traveling a lot. I went to Europe. I went to Mexico. I went to a lot of different places. I'm half Mexican. I'm half Italian. So I got to go to Mexico and Italy. So that was really cool to do
I just want to make a joke, man. I know your lineages are in your body just battling right now. I'm just saying, Italian and Mexican. Listen now, we're not having pasta on Tuesday. We're having tacos, okay? I said what I said. Right.
Yeah, that does definitely happen sometime. I try to control it. I try to, be better about it. But, it's just they coming from a family like that, it's just, we don't talk, we yell at each other. And then they say, why are you yelling at each other? No, he's just talking to them.
No, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, it is crazy because, you know what I'm saying, that both cultures have big families, you know what I mean, are very inclusive with their families and stuff like that. So it's like at some point they're colliding, and then probably at some point they're probably, passing a Dos Equis to each other, and then the other one's passing the bowl of pasta. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, man. It's all love around here, dude.
Yep. So with that, I got to do a lot of traveling, and it was a really enjoyable time. Got to go to a lot of places that I had never been before, and some cases multiple times. So while I was in that airplane, which I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, I don't like flying. While I was in that airplane, I was like, hey, let me write some music and all that. And so then as I started writing, multiple tracks, as I'm writing Party Going Down and all these other different tracks like that, I'm like, well, you know what, maybe I should call this skywriting. And so then that's what I figured, because, it's like something where I'm up in the air flying past while I'm writing these rhymes, and that's how I looked at it, because I was in the sky writing.
Nice. What do you do for a living?
So my full-time job is I'm actually a career coach. So I basically help people who, are looking for work. I help them with their resumes, their LinkedIn, all that good stuff.
And I know what some people are saying. DJ Warhol, that sounds worthless and sounds like it is a scam or a waste of time. For someone who hates his LinkedIn and all that stuff, I would love to have a manager to just manage that. Like, just like those stuff alone, like, I hate that type of stuff. Like, I'm really good. Dude, I'm a creator. I love producing, you know what I'm saying? I love putting stuff together, making people laugh, talking and stuff like that. All that extra stuff, you know what I'm saying, I really got to pull myself up to like do those type of stuff. So we need life coaches and all those people that motivate us like that.
Definitely. I've always done it through school. I haven't done it like independently or anything like that. But like if you've been at a college or a boot camp or something like that, you might have had me as your career coach.
And he hasn't done it independently yet, but you never know how life goes. He might. This is what we do at the NittyBumVille radio show, man. I force people's hands, so I will intentionally go find someone and bring them to you and be like, "Oh yeah, you're a life coach, right? Well, they need life coaching. Here you go," and then walk away. And the whole time I'm just laughing and smiling, like, "Yes, I got you." Like, you know what I'm saying? And I do that because I would hope somewhere out there, you know what I'm saying, let's say you run into a artist or you know anybody that's just like, man, I'm just trying to get my music out there, you know, more. You could be like, dude, I know a guy out there in Texas, you know, he has a radio show that's, you know, it's, you know, I'm in Texas, but my radio show is based in Phoenix, Arizona. And so I have so many markets and stuff like that. And for whatever reason, people love me when I promote other people's music and other people's art and stuff like that. They don't like it when I do mine. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to stick to what I know and what's propelling me. And that's just really helping others and stuff like that, man. And just giving them a platform, where they can be like, hey man, I got an EP dropping in a week. I want to come on your show and I want to talk about it. I want to just talk in with you. Maybe I can come join in on your next radio show and I could just, do the news with you or whatever, and just use it like a regular outlet, because I know one day all of this is just going to get shot up. It's just ridiculous how the view counts that's happening right now. I'm looking at the views and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's messing with my algorithms, who's boosting my stuff, but I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing, because it's helping others and it's helping me at the same time. So.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear. Shout out to you and appreciate it for all that you're doing, for all the, artists out there, whether, I'm not sure if you interview major artists, but all the indie artists that you're doing it for, that's, who really needs it the most, all the indies.
The biggest artist I've worked with on a radio show, probably, I don't know if you know them, Big X, The Plug, Big Yavo. I don't know if you ever heard of those guys.
Sounds very familiar. Big X, The Plug sounds very familiar.
Big X Plug. He's really hot right now. Bossman D-Lo, before he took off, we were DJing his music on the show, and then like 6 months later, a year later, he's like on every single TikTok. He's on Sports Center. Everything is just like, and so it's always cool. I always like those. I've had like a handful of those people that I've reached out to before, and then next thing you know, they have taken off. And I like that more than working with the bigger artists. The bigger artist is cool, don't get me wrong. But I don't really get anything out of working with a big artist other than to say that I worked with a big artist. And then at the end of the day, if their social media manager doesn't repost our stuff, you know what I mean, doesn't promote our radio show episode that we did with them, it's really a waste of a time. So I've also learned it's actually better, more fulfilling to get the engagement that I got when I seen your submission, dude, and someone said, yeah, Byron got a new submission, and I went to the email and I seen it and I actually teared up. I was like, oh my gosh, like, because we at some point, dude, we were getting 10, 15 submissions a week, and now it's come down to maybe 1 or 2 a week. So I was just very fortunate. I was like, yes, and I can be able to talk to somebody and bounce ideas off of, and you just never know where this conversation could lead to in the future as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I got a lot of appreciation for Texas. Shout out to all you guys down there. I got family that live down there too.
Okay.
So I've always been influenced by that. UGK, Pimp C, Bundy. I met Chamillionaire one time. He was real cool.
Nice.
But yeah. Devin the Dude's one of my favorite rappers. Sorry.
You said who?
Devin the Dude. Devin the Dude
is
one of my favorite rappers.
I love Devin the Dude. Lackville 79.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Yeah, people say I look like a millionaire, and I just get so upset when I hear his name. So I'm sorry. I had some PTSD flashback there.
Wow.
Started twitching. You know what I'm saying? I don't look like him. He looks like me. Jesus Christ. Wow. Houston is literally like its own world in Texas. It's crazy. It's like literally Houston versus everybody else in Texas, and it's cool. They got their own culture and stuff like that down there. And Texas, I don't want to sound biased, man, but I'm very appreciative that I'm from Texas and was born in Texas. Being in Texas, it's one of the biggest states, or and one of the biggest populations. So if you want to do something out here, there is so much competition. It doesn't matter if you're a bowler like me, or you make beats, play basketball, or you're a football player, or whatever it is. There is so much competition, and it molds you in life to be able to travel and meet different people and have conversations and stuff like that. And I know Chicago is one of those cities that is like that too as well, where, you know what I mean, it can mold you and get you, into avenues where you can, leave Chicago, and then, you know what I mean, it can help you.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it definitely, they've got their own kind of cultural significance to them, all those areas that you said.
That is cool. Rudy G, shout out your social medias real quick for me, man.
Yeah, so you can find me at Rudy G Music, RUDYG Music. And then on YouTube, you can find me at The Real Rudy G Music.
All right, my guy. Rudy, man, I appreciate you so much, man, for taking your time on the show today. Sorry for the miscommunication the past couple of days on our end, and I'm very fortunate that we got you in today, and we are going to plug your music in. And whenever you're ready to hop back on the show, man, send us some more music. We're definitely going to be in reach, and hopefully this could be something that could continue for the both of us.
Yeah, definitely. I really, like I said, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll keep you posted with anything new that I do. I'll be listening and all that too. So, yeah, let me know anything that I can do.
Okay, man. I appreciate it, man. I'm going to close this out right quick. Stay on the line, and then I'll come back and we'll talk off air.
All right, cool.
Cool beans, man. All right, guys, I appreciate you so much, man. It's your boy DJ Jesus Warhol here with that Rudy G interview. Make sure y'all go follow him on his socials. We'll have all the links in the description as well, man. All right, guys, it's your boy DJ Jesus Warhol signing out. Be ya. Be ya.
Stop! Gang, gang.
All right. This episode was recorded December the 6th, 2024.
This interview should not be copied, distributed, published, or reproduced in whole or any part unless the proper authorization has been approved from the NittyBumVille radio show. The statements and views in this episode are non-affiliated with the OTW, KTF, or the NittyBumVille radio show in any way. Which means to those who get booty hurt over anything you hear, I or my team is not liable, okay? Okay. All sponsors are non-affiliated except for the ones that are affiliated. So please, don't be in my email talking that shit. Thank you.
Stop!
I mean, yeah, you can stop it. I wasn't saying stop it for you to